Russ sir will not join today. He has some meeting. Okay.
सर क्लास ओवर नहीं होगा सर?
Sorry.
कल क्लास ओवर नहीं होगा सर?
तुम लोग को हॉलीडेज का लिस्ट मिला है कि नहीं? हॉलीडेज के लिस्ट में चेक करो, वैसे तो नहीं होना चाहिए
सर। कल तो क्लास मतलब कल तो 26 जनवरी है ना सर?
हाँ हाँ, तो नहीं होगा मतलब, लेकिन फिर भी एक बार हॉलीडे वाला लिस्ट में चेक कर लो जो वेबसाइट पे होगा, उसमें होगा दिया हुआ।
हॉलीडे दिया हुआ है वो नेटलिस्ट का
हाँ
जो
तो फिर
कैलेंडर
नहीं,
है।
हाँ तो नहीं होगा।
नहीं सर, अभी तक तो ऐसा कोई मतलब ऐसा हर हॉलीडे को क्लास लगी है हमारी लगभग, इसलिए मैं पूछा कि कल लगेगी कि नहीं लगेगी।
नहीं नहीं, अगर हॉलीडे में दे रखा है तो नहीं लगेगी। ओके, चलो जितना आना था सो आ गए सब, चलो। सो So in the last class, in the last lecture, what we are doing, we are trying to connect the dot between the two chapters, right? So in the chapter number 8, what we have studied that the enterprise logic is divided into two parts, or mainly three parts. You can say three parts. The first layer is user interface layer. The second layer is business logic layer, and the third layer is application layer, right? And in the following chapter, in chapter 9, we again broke down this three layered architecture into more number of layer, right? So we have introduced a new kind of layer, that is service layer. And again this service layer is divided into three parts. We will go through this each one of them, and the remaining was the same, remaining layers were the same. So this one is the business logic layer, and this is a UI layer, and this one is application layer, right? So till this up to this point we have already discussed in our last lecture. So in the last lecture we have already described these diagrams. You must have seen that this is, let's say this is service 1 and this is service 2, and these two services at the application service layer. What kind of services these are? This one and this one. Anyone?
एप्लीकेशन सर्विसेज।
Yeah, so these are the application services. So let's say this is service 1, this is service 2. So this application service 1 and application service 2 are composed in a such a way that they provide a single business service, that is, let's say this is BS1, business service 1. Similarly, this application service 3, 4 and 5 are composed in a such a way that they provide composed in a such a way that they provide a single business service, right? That is business service 2. In similar fashion, we have business 5, application service 5 and 6 are composed to provide business service 3. Similarly, business service 4. So what kind of service it is? It is a reusable service. So we can say that the application at the application service layer, we can found some services which are reusable in nature. Not all the services at the application service layer is reusable, right? We can found some of the services which are reusable in nature. So one of them is this one, this application service number 5. Similarly, application service 6 is also a reusable service, because these services are reused in composing a business service 2 and business number 3 and 4, right? But this business services not only confined to the this project only. It can be reusable, or it can be it can be reused in other projects as well, right? Everyone getting my point or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So similarly, at the business service layer, these four services, how these four business service 1, business service 2, business service 3, and business service 4. These four business services are composed to form a single orchestration service. This is orchestration service, or you can say process service, right? There are different terminologies for the same service. So how we can get these services, means suppose you have given us some project based on SOA, so how we can come up with these services. So the procedure to get to find the number of services, like application service, what are the different application services, what are the different business services, and what are the different orchestration service, or you can say process service. We are going to deal with this in our upcoming chapters, right? The chapter name is service oriented analysis and design. So in this chapter, we will go through how to come up with this kind of services, application services, business services, and orchestration services. We will go through that in the upcoming chapters. So this diagram is already discussed in the previous class, and this diagram, this one and the last diagram, both are similar in nature, right? So so can anyone explain this diagram to everyone? Anyone?
आप किसी को भी बोल दो, किसी को नाम लेके बोल दो, कोई ऋषभ को छोड़ के, ऋषभ कुछ रेगुलर बंदों को बुला दो. You can call anybody.
Nirmal.
You can call Nirmal.
Yes, sir.
Explain this diagram.
Sir, here we in the below there is an application service. In previous diagram, we have seen there are three layers. One is user interface, second is business service, and third one is application service, which was there in the enterprise level enterprise in architecture. So the application service and business services are connected via virtual services, and these business services are attached
you
to
must have heard of these wrappers. Everyone in the lectures classes, you must have heard of the keyword wrappers, right? What the wrapper does, it simply wraps up the legacy services. Legacy services in the Oracle SOA suite, this wrapper is known as adapters. Both are same in Oracle SOA suite. This wrappers is known as adapters, right? So suppose you have like this RDBMS. Let's say this RDBMS is MySQL server. So I want to expose this MySQL server as a service, right? So the very first way we can come up with to expose this server as a REST API. So these are the virtual services in the REST API designing classes, in the REST API designing lab session. You must have seen this kind of thing where we expose our tables or resources in the form of APIs, right, everyone?
Yes,
the
sir.
Last lab we have seen this example, the CRUD application using virtual services. Means what is the meaning of virtual services? It's simply exposing, it's simply try to expose the given service, given means concrete service using some kind of APIs, right? So these are concrete services, and these all services are exposed as a virtual service, means kind of REST APIs or web services, right? Suppose some application is already running on this application server. Some of your data is already available on this RDBMS server. So this server is exposed in form of two virtual services, right? First one is, let's say, R1, and second one is R2. So R1 and R2 are the REST APIs. Everyone getting my point or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is why SOA is considered as a means if you are using SOA architecture for your application, so while using service oriented architecture, none of your existing legacy API legacy systems, what we can say, सपोज जो पहले से हमारे पास सर्विस है, मान लो जो हमारे पास पहले से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे हम लोगों ने खर्चा कर रखा है, ठीक है, वो हमारे बचा रहेगा। समझ रहे हो सब एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
Suppose we have invested a lot of money on our infrastructure, right? And we want to move from previous architecture to service oriented architecture. So what to do with the previous architecture, right? So one of the major issue while shifting from one architecture to another architecture is what to do with the existing architecture, means existing resources, IT resources. So service oriented architecture come up with a solution. What is that solution? The solution is wrapper or use this adapter, both are same things. So to use the adapters so that we can expose our existing legacy systems in a new form. What is the new form? The REST APIs and the SOAP APIs, right? So these are the existing applications. Everyone getting my point or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the previous architecture, in the before service oriented architecture, this was not there, right? But after service oriented architecture, this new layer comes into picture. Why? Because this virtual service layer is responsible for exposing existing legacy IT resources, whether you have your database, whether you have ERP or CRM or SCM, supply chain management, whether you have existing web services or you have some mainframe computers where your application is already running. So we can simply expose those running applications in a form of REST APIs and SOAP APIs, right? Now आगे बढ़ो, कौन बोल रहा था? निर्मल.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, these business services are attached with the business processes, that is which we call as the logic, which is then exposed via this wrapper class again, that is the virtual services. These business services are exposed by again wrapper services, and the user interface is on the user side, that they will use these services via this virtual services. The user will use the business services using the virtual services.
Yeah. So suppose I want to design in the upcoming chapter, the upcoming 4 means of total there are 6 chapters may be remaining. So up to 4 chapters. 4 chapters are related to how to come up with this kind of architecture, right? Our objective of the upcoming chapters, the main objective of the upcoming chapter is how to come up with this kind of architecture, right? So we can go through we can follow 2 strategies. First one is go from top to down, and one strategy is go from bottom to top. We will see in the upcoming chapters. So what we can do, suppose you have given a SOA project, what we can do, we can come up with business process, and we can again divide this business process into list of business service, and again we can divide this business service into list of virtual services, right? Everyone getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is a kind of top to bottom approach. We will go through this in our upcoming chapters. So similarly, we have here business processes, right? And any person wants to use this business process cannot directly call this business process, right? Suppose I want to use let's say suppose you were in the market we have Instagram, right? And I want to use post messaging system, means I want to use the upload feature of the Instagram, right? I want to use that upload feature of the Instagram. What I can do simply, I can simply invoke the business process which is responsible for uploading pictures, right? Uploading anything, right? So what is our requirement? I want to invoke the upload feature of Instagram. That is the business process. So Instagram will not allow you to directly invoke their business process. What they can do, they can simply expose, let's say this is the upload feature. Let's say this business process is responsible for upload feature. What they can do, they can simply expose this business process in a form of virtual services, right? So the external users, whether they are using this portal, whether they are using this web service client, or whether they are directly using this web application, right? So the external users can invoke this business process via these virtual services, right? Why we are using these virtual services? Why we cannot directly invoke the business process? Anyone? Why we are calling this virtual services instead of calling directly this business process? Exposing your business services in form of virtual services plays a vital role in form of security, right? In the REST API designing part, we have seen why we are exposing anything into virtual services, because of security perspective. Okay. This is the high level architecture for OB system. I have already sent you OB requirements. So please go through this diagram. The first layer is user interface layer. The second layer is external virtual services layer, and what are the different business process? See. So see, if you want to find the list of business process in your project, you can, in context of business, we can say what are the different functions, supported by your software is the business process, right? So suppose I want to develop an application, and application has upload feature, and let's say profile edit feature, and and let's say registration process. These are the, let's say, basic simple features are there, right? So in context of service oriented architecture, these simple functional requirements are called business process. Getting my point?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to know like how to read this architecture from top to bottom or bottom to top. I mean, first I need to I don't know how to understand it or how to explain it.
Yeah. So if you want to come up with this kind of architecture, this is a high level architecture, right? So if you want to come up with this kind of architecture, there are two strategies, right? First one is go from top to bottom, right? And there is second strategy, go to from bottom to top, right? So suppose in the last class, maybe in the last lab, I have already explained this example. Who is asking?
Sir, it's me, Rikaz, sir.
Okay. So in the last lab session, we have discussed this kind of application. We have, let's say there is name. You have to fill out this form like name. This is a registration form, right? After registration, it will ask for you login, right? And after logging, have you attended the last REST API designing lab session?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So have you remembered this example in the last 15 minutes or 20 minutes? I have explained this example.
Yes, sir. I remember, sir.
Okay. So there I have discussed, there are, let's say, 5 features. First one is registration. The second one is login. The fourth one is upload feature, then the profile edit, right? Remember?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So these are your business process. What is your requirement? Suppose I will ask you what are the different features provided by the WhatsApp. What are the different features provided by the WhatsApp? Can you list?
Yes, sir.
Go on.
Sir, we can send messages. We can
Send
upload.
messages.
Yes, sir. We can
Upload
send
pictures.
Yes, sir. Upload status. We can call or
Upload
video.
status.
We can call
Video
someone.
calling.
Yes, sir. Audio calling.
Audio
Voice
calling.
notes. Voice notes.
Right. Something or there is setting kind of thing, and
Yes, sir.
right. So list of features. Right. So these are the functional requirement of the WhatsApp. Right. These are the functional requirement of the WhatsApp. And
Yes, sir.
if you if you call this if suppose I want to design this software using service oriented architecture, right? So these functional requirements is known as business process, right?
Yes, sir.
There is nothing difference in the functional requirements and business process. Both are same, but the terminology is different in context of service oriented architecture, and in other architecture it is simply known as functional requirements. So whatever your functional requirement for your required project, these are simply business process. And as we know, this is upload feature or video calling is a complex process, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a complex business process. So what I can do, I can simply I can simply divide this video calling features into list of another services, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Every
So
service
that,
is a collection of services, na?
yeah. So what I can do, I can divide this business process, or you can say functional requirement, into list of services. So each of these services help me to build this feature, right?
Yes, sir.
So these services are business service. This is business process BP. This is business service, and again this business service, and again this business services is a collection of what kind of service? Anyone?
Application service.
Yeah. So application services. This is how service oriented architecture works, right?
So, sir, first we need to design the application service and then we need to move up or other way, sir.
Yeah, there are two strategies. You can follow either one of them. In the upcoming chapter, we will go through the how to come up with this kind of architecture, right? So for now, you can simply understand these are my requirements. Business processes are collection of business requirements, functional requirements, right? Everyone getting my point or not?
Sir, one more thing, sir. Sir, one final,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Sir, you have just like 4 minutes ago, sir, you have said that we need external virtual services to, we cannot directly access the business processes because of the security concerns.
No. It depends upon you whether you want to expose your service or not. Suppose I want to develop a QuickBuzz website, right?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I want to develop a QuickBuzz website.
Yes, sir.
So this QuickBuzz website must be used, is going to be used by different service requesters, right? Because my service is that kind of service only. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Because it is a kind of cricket kind of thing, so it is going to be invoked by different clients, right? So in those scenarios, we must come up with a external virtual services so that external users can access them, right?
Okay, sir.
Have you ever heard of that you are invoking the Microsoft API in your website? Because Microsoft is a kind of document kind of they have their documents on their documentation on their website, right? So we are not going to invoke those documents in our website. So for those documents, we are not going to provide the external web services.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, getting my point? समझ में
Yes,
आ
sir.
गया क्या?
हाँ, आ गया.
Okay. So जहां लग रहा है कि
ये अभिषेक, एक मिनट मेरे को थोड़ा बोलने दो। अच्छा, रेखा जी have asked a very good question. I am very happy. Any architecture as per rule, you can only understand if you go from top to bottom. You can only understand because he told that in the bottom level, the different business services are there. So any architecture you can only understand if you go from top to bottom. If you have a pre-knowledge about the different business services or different sub-activities, then you look at the lower level and go slowly from lower level, then upwards. But if you don't have the knowledge about these sub business activities, then it is always desirable that you move from top to bottom. That is the rule. Always move from top to bottom. That is the rule. But you will find, we will teach you also, in the industries, when you will be joining under a manager, under a senior person, mid-level senior, is not that senior, is a mid-level person under whom you will be assigned. He will directly tell you to look at the lower level business activities, because he is aware about the upper level business activities. But the students who join initially for work for 4 or 5 years, they are being asked to develop program level modules in the lower level of architecture. But it's always better if you move slowly from upwards to downwards. But in industry, people are always in a hurry. Some people understand the upper level architecture and they pass on their job to the lower level. So they directly assign to the younger people that you do the job in the lower level, do the job in the lower level. You don't have to understand. But unless you look at the upper level, you won't understand. That's the very big problem in the industry. That those who join initially for 4 or 5 years, they are totally in dark. They don't understand what the main problem tells, what the bigger objective of the architecture. Always it's better if you understand slowly from upper level to lower level. Okay? But it's never been done in industry. Always people are in a hurry. Some people understand, design the architecture, and they assign the younger people who are in the lower level. You develop the module for the lower level. I will integrate them. So the lower level people develop the modules without understanding. So that is the problem in the industry. Anyway, but always keep it in mind, whenever you are getting opportunity, try to move from top to bottom. Then only you can understand. Okay. Okay, Abhishek. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Fine.
So it is not like suppose you you join to any industry, and it is not like you are going to complete this whole project, right? You will be assigned at a particular layer, right? Suppose you are you are a service developer. So the work assigned to you will be to develop this user account service, develop this check suspect service, they develop this job scheduler service, right? You are nothing to do with this internal, you are nothing to do with this business process. And at the in the industries, at each layer there are different sets of developers working on. Suppose this business process are designed by the technical architect team, right? He has lots of years of experience, and this technical architect is this technical architect and business analyst, right? Both the first one, the suppose a project comes to any industry, let's say in a service or in a service based company, projects come, right? And after that, a business analyst from that organization goes to this their place and analyzes the business process, right? And it's write a kind of documentation. What are the different business processes? What are the different business processes are occurring in the occurring at their place, right? Suppose kind of bank, let's say you have a banking system, right? So business analyst goes to their place, like in a bank, right? And they are going to analyze what are the different business process performing in their at their organization, right? And then this business analyst and this technical architect come up together and design this business process, right? What are the they found out they are going to find out what are the different business process from the business document, right? That business document is going to be written by this business analyst, right? So after modeling, the technical architect going to find out what are the different set of business process in that project. Let's say for this OBE architecture, we have the technical architect is going to find this user registration is required, list item is going to required, and auction item, order fulfillment, and account billing is, these are the different sets of business processes going to required, right? And at this level, level there are some different means senior lead software developers are there, service developers are there. They are going to develop these things, right? And at this level, let's say this is internal virtual services, these are API developers, right? So this is how different persons in a company makes up this possible this kind of architecture, right? So okay, we have already gone through this. So why we are developing this service layer abstraction? We have already seen the diagram, but we are going to see what are the benefits of designing this service layer abstraction. So if you are designing this service layer abstraction, these are the questions. These are the questions whose answer is given by this service layer abstraction. So what are the different questions? The first one is, what logic should be represented by services? how should services relate to the existing application logic? What is the meaning of this one? How should services relate to existing application logic? Means existing application logic means existing IT resources, right? Suppose any company wants to shift from one architecture to another architecture, and the final architecture, let's say, is service oriented architecture, right? So how service oriented architecture is going to deal with the existing services, existing application services, application logic, right? That is legacy systems. So in service oriented architecture, we have wrappers, right? Wrappers and adapters. We have already discussed these points. So how can services best represent this business process logic, right? We have already seen this. See over here, we have already spent a lot of time on explaining this diagram and this diagram, this one, right? So the explanation of these diagrams are given in the previous slides. I have skipped these slides while discussing on this slide. So please go through these slides. We have already discussed each and everything. None of the thing is left out. See over here, how business services best represent business logic. So business logic is defined within an organization. These are theory points. We can skip these points. When modeling services to represent business logic, it is most important to ensure that the service representation is the logic in alignment with the existing business models, right? So while discussing this diagram, we have already explained those points. Please go through them. They are written in the some generic means pure theoretical lines, right? So please go through them. Okay. See. So now we are going to see what are the different characteristics of this application service layer services, right? So if any services existing on the application service layer, what should be the characteristics? So these are the list. These are the common characteristics of the application services. The first one is they expose functionality within a specific processing context. The second one states they draw upon available resources within the given platform. What is the meaning of this one? That is again telling you about this legacy systems. If you have legacy IT resources available, they are drawn upon available resources, right? These are solution agnostic. We know the agnostic means. What is the meaning of agnostic? Anyone? So they are generic and reusable. So we have already seen these points. Generic and reusable. We have in this point we have seen this. These services are going to be used by these services are going to be used by this business service 1 and business service 2. So at that time we have already explained that the services at this layer can be reusable in nature, right? And the reusability means generic in nature, because reusability does not mean that this services is going to reused in the similar project, right? It can be reused in another project, another SOA project, right? So how it is possible to reuse this service in another project? It is possible because of its generic nature, right? You know the generality. What is the meaning of generality? So this is how it is reusable in the same project, and because of this generic nature, it is reusable in the new upcoming projects also, right? So they can be used to achieve point-to-point integration with other application service as well, right? You know the meaning of point-to-point integration? Everyone? What is the meaning of point-to-point integration? Suppose you have 5 services, right? And these services wants to communicate with this one, this one, this one, and this one. Similarly, this service wants to communicate this one. So complex structure will form like this one. So all of them are communicating with each other. So this kind of architecture is a very messy kind of thing. Its management is very hectic, right? So what we do, we simply come up with a ESB kind of thing, enterprise service bus, or you can say Oracle service bus. If we are learning Oracle service, Oracle suite in context of Oracle, we have Oracle service bus. So what we can do, we can simply use these 4 services or 5 services over here, right? So suppose this service wants to communicate with these services, it's simply the message, the request from these services to this service goes from via Oracle service bus. Everyone getting my point or not? So management of this this architecture forms with the help of this Oracle services bus. The similar architecture can be made easily with Oracle services bus, right? So Oracle services, we can say it is an integration platform where we can integrate different web services using the principles of SOA, because Oracle services bus follows the principles of SOA. We have seen this. It supports WS addressing, WS policy, different WS extension, right? So using this Oracle services bus, your project automatically comes under the SOA, right? So they often inconsistent in terms of interface granularity they expose. right? They may consist of mixture of custom developed services and third party services that have been purchased or leased. These are all surface meaning, you can understand on your own. Okay, so typical example of service models implemented as application service include utility service and wrapper service, right? So under application services we have again two types of services. First one is utility service and the second one is wrapper services. We have already seen the wrapper services means the adapter services, right? Adapter means connection. In the upcoming lab we may be using different kinds of adapters in the Oracle SWA. In Oracle SWA we have file adapter, one is file adapter, one is database adapter. So suppose any application wants to communicate with the MySQL server, right? In the previous lab we have seen an example of Edison web service, right everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So suppose if you want to web services which needs to interact with the particular database server, right? Suppose I want to develop an web services which is going to interact with the MySQL server, right? So how it is possible to design that kind of services, right? It is possible with the help of adapters, right? So suppose a services wants to interact with the file system, means that file means the services want to read some contents from the file and it wants to write some contents into the other file, right? So that kind of web services requires a file adapter to interact with the file system, right? So these are the some adapters available. Means in Oracle SWA we have 20 to 30 adapters are there, right? There is a cloud adapter through which we can simply connect your web services to the cloud, whether it is AWS or GCP or any kind of service means cloud services, right? So what are utility services? In the computer system, in the laptop we have already have different utility services. Anyone know this utility service?
Yes, sir. Clock, sir, calendar, or
We have
notes,
already
or
explained this. We have already explained this wrapper services, right? Any web services which wants to connect to the existing application, whether it is a file system or database adapter or any cloud system or any SAP application, ERP system, CRM system, SCM systems, right? These are the different systems already available in the market. And if you want to connect with them through your web services, right? So those web services are known as wrapper services, right? These are the simple terminologies we use in the market. And similarly, we have a utility service also. So what is the meaning of utility service? Anyone? So in the computer system, we have utility services running in the task manager. If you go to your task manager, you will see different utility services are already running in your system to support your system to run smoothly, right? So utility computing is the package of computing resources such as computation, storage services as a metered service, right? So this model has the advantage of low and initial cost to acquire computer resources instead of computational resources are essentially rented. Sorry. And in case of wrapper services, we have already explained. Wrapper means it is a service that wraps something. Wrap something means either you are wrapping a file adaptation or database adapter, or you are adapting some cloud services or SCM services, and there are many services out there, right? So you can wrap anything and expose those cloud services. Suppose I want to expose my table, right? I want to expose my table. Let's say there is an operation to insert something in a table, right? In the last lab session we have already seen this kind of example. Suppose we have a table, let's say a student table. I want to insert a particular row in this student table, right? What I can do, I can simply expose a service which is going to interact with this table. Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that kind of service is a wrapper service, right? So what we have studied till now, these are going to be discussed with the help of TLS and RELCO examples, right? So in case of RELCO and TLS, so TLS is a well-defined application service layer. Of the TLS services we have discussed so far in our case study, these are the following application services in the TLS example. First one is load balancing service. The second one is internal policy service, and the third one is system notification service, right? So one of you I have given a PPT over this utility service, types of services. Vidya, na? Vidya?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. That is why I have given the PPT on that topic only, because it is going to be needed in this this rest of this chapter, right? So that you can understand what are the different sets of services. There is utility service, task-based services, and many more services are there. So see over here. In case of TLS, what are the different application services? The first one is load balancing service. The second one is internal policy service, and the third one is system notification service, right? It is it is going to be understood by you only when if you know the TLS system very well, right? If you don't remember this TLS and RELCO example correctly, then it will like you are remembering something, right? So in the RELCO system, these are the different application service layer. The first one is invoice submission service, the order fulfillment service, and the third one is TLS subscription service. So while application services are while application services are responsible for representing technology and application logic, the business service introduces a service concerned solely with the representing business logic called business service. This is simply defining what is the meaning of business service. We have already seen these things. They are responsible for expressing business logic through service orientation and bring the representation of the corporate business model into the corporate business model into the web services arena. In the previous section, this section, we have seen these application services can be again divided into two types of services. The first one is utility service, and the second one is wrapper services. Similarly, in case of business services, we can again categorize our business services in two forms of services. The first one is controller service, and the second one is again the utility service, right? So the rest of the part of this chapter is wholly dependent on this RELCO and TLS example, and what are the different business services used in this RELCO and the TLS, right? So in fact, when application logic is abstracted in a separate application service layer, it is more likely that business service will act as a controller to compose available application service to execute their business logic, right? It is talking about this one, this part, right? So this part, these both are composed to expose a single logic, right? See over here. When application logic is abstracted in a separate application layer, it is more likely that the business services will act as a controller to compose, see over here, to compose available application services to execute their business logic. right? So if you are going through this this slide or upcoming slides, don't worry if you are not understanding. We have already seen in a simple terms, we have already seen what are the meaning of these terms, right? Because it is written in some complex terms. So we have already seen. If you are not understanding, please go through again and again. These slides we have already seen. These are only written in a complex format, right? We have already seen these things. Similarly, sorry, business service layer abstraction leads to the creation of two business service models. The first one is task centric and the second one is entity centric business services, right? So what is the meaning of task centric business service and what is the meaning of entity centric business service? A service that encapsulates business logic specific to a task, right? A service that encapsulates business logic specific to a task or a business process, that is known as task centric business service, right? So in case of this obey example, anyone knows what is the task centric business service over there? Point, this one. Suppose any business services is going to interact with your database system, right? Simple logic. See, suppose any of your business services is going to interact with your database system, that is going to be entity based service, right? Entity based business service. And if any business services is simply a logic, so that kind of business services is task based service, task based business service. Getting my point or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if any business service, suppose you have 10 business services, I want to categorize them into task based or entity based. So how we can what is the what is the main logic through which we can divide the 10 web services into two parts, the categorizing those. The first one is task based business services and the entity based business services. What is the entity? Entity means the object, and here the object represents the record in your database system. So any business services, see, user account, this business services is going to use your database, right? Everyone, for the user account business services,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
at the
sir.
backend it must be going to use your database, right? So we can say this user account is a which kind of service? Entity based service. Right? We can see over here the job scheduler, right? I don't think this job scheduler is going to interact with any database tables, right? So in those cases we can say that this job scheduler is a task based service, right? Similarly, this auction, it seems to be a task based service. Similarly, this order is a what kind of service it is? Order.
Entity centric.
Yeah, entity centric, because it is going to interact with your database table anyhow. Because if you are trying to place an order, it must be there must be a record is going to insert it in your database table. That is how your order gets placed, right? Similarly, this check suspect item. So if you want to check some item, it must be going to use your table, right? The item table or whatever the table used in the going to be used in this check suspect item, right? Everyone getting my point or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is how we can divide our business services into either entity centric or task centric, right? So if you go through the definition of these points, it may looks like some complex. See over here. encapsulates specific business entities such as invoice or time sheet. It is useful for creating highly reusable business process agnostic services that are composed by an orchestration layer. And see how complex it is to explain to you. Similarly, we have task-based services over here. And one services is hybrid services. It is full of one is it consists of logic as well your means entity, right? Means it is going to interact with your database system as well, or it has some business logic as well, right? So in those cases we can say it is a hybrid services, right? Sorry. And in while you are designing some service oriented architecture, we are not going to require this means bifurcation of these business services, either in task based services, entity centric services, or these hybrid services, right? But in this service oriented architecture book, it is written like to you should know the different categories of services under business services layer, right? So often it is not required while you are designing something. Okay. Again, there is a case study. So it is written like TLS services we have discussed so far in our case study. The following are the true business services. What are the different business services? See, if you are trying to sorry, if you are trying to find out the different business services, these are going to relate with your business processes, right? Because let's say this is the business process and these are the business services. So it must be your functional requirement, right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. It must be your functional requirement. And if we are trying to find out the different sets of services at this layer, at this level, right? What is this? This is business services. It will also looks like a similar business it will also look like a functional requirement as well, right? So you can see over here account payable services, purchase order service, ledger service, and vendor profile services, right? It will again look like a suppose it will again look like a business process, right? But it's actually it is not business process. See, have you ever heard of this ledger service as a business process? That is upload feature, messaging system, video calling. It is a business process, right? Ledger service is not a business process. It must be used as a backend, right? Everyone getting my point?
Yes, sir.
It is not going to expose directly, it is not going to expose to the external users. It is going to expose or invoked by a consumer only, right? And if someone, if any consumer is using it, that consumer must be a business process, right? Everyone getting my point? Ledger services is not going to expose to external user, right? We can't do anything with this ledger services, right? And if it is going to be invoked by a particular consumer means client, that service requester, then that client will be your business process. Maybe it is not making sense for you now. Okay. So each represents a well-defined boundary of business logic, and whenever one of the services operations needs to be performed a task outside this boundary, it reuses functionality provided in another business and application service. I personally recommend you all please go through these slides again and again, because this chapter is quite difficult for you. I've already told you in the beginning of this chapter only that this chapter is going to be one of the difficult chapter for you, because it is related with the upcoming chapters. It is fully related with the upcoming chapters, right? So if you don't learn the upcoming chapters, you can't understand this chapter, right? So we cannot do anything because it is chapter 9 and we should follow some sequence. So after that we have chapter 10, and then so after ending of this chapter 10 and 11, we will get you will get this chapter easily. What is the construct, what is the gist of this chapter, right? So don't worry if you are not getting this chapter completely for now. Okay, and please go through this TLS and Relco example completely from the book. In the PPT there are some some parts is skipped, right? So please go through the book and prepare your case study. Means try to write the each and every point of the TLS and Relco in your notebook, and then you will be able to understand what is the meaning of this case study, actual why we are drawing this kind of diagrams and everything, right? So we have already seen this example. Yeah. So what are the different set of services at the service layer? Means we are talking about we have three layers at the service layer, right? The first one is application service layer, then business service layer, and then we have orchestration service layer, right? At these three layers, what are the different kinds of services we are going to what are the different sets of services we counter, right? So these are the different sets of services. The first one is hybrid application services, utility application services, task centric business services, entity centric business services, and process services, right? So we have already seen these process services. What is the meaning of process services? Process services nothing but this orchestration service, this one, this part. Entity service we have already seen, task centric already seen, utility service we have already seen, right? And hybrid application service we have already seen, right? So so how we can sorry, how we are going to design, means how we can come up with this kind of architecture, the layered architecture, how we can come up with this layered architecture using these services only, how we can come up with this kind of architecture. So if you have given, let's say it is like permutation and combination. Suppose you have a box and you have three kinds of balls, right? Red balls, black balls, and white balls, right? So there are different sets of permutations. Suppose you can put here two balls, right? So what are the different possibilities? You know the possibilities, right, everyone? Everyone getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you have red ball, black ball, and white ball, right? And you have two places over here, and you need to put this. You can select any one of them, any of the ball. So what are the different combinations possible? You know the answer, right? So similarly, we have these kind of services: hybrid application service, utility application service, task centric application service, business service, entity centric business service, and process services, right? Using these services, right? What are the different scenarios? Means what are the different possibilities you can come up with, right? So there are 8 scenarios. There are 8 scenarios where these services are arranged in such a fashion that is legal fashion, means that is not illegally designed, right? So if you are talking about the legal design, architecture design, using this 8 services, we can come up with 8 scenarios, right? So in the upcoming slides, it is talking about what are the different 8 scenarios in which these 8 services are used, right? So this is the scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? This is the final slide of this chapter. So we are going to see each one of them, and I am sure किसी को समझ में नहीं आएगा ये, फिलहाल के लिए. Okay, we will try our best. So what is the first scenario? Hybrid application service only, right? So when web services simply appended to the existing distributed application environment, and when a web service based solution is built without any emphasis on reuse of service oriented business modeling, the resulting architecture tends to consist of sets of hybrid application services, right? So it is not possible to explain these points for now. What I can say for now, please go through them each of these scenarios, right? If you are not understanding these scenarios, please go through them, each one of them. Try to understand. If you are not understanding, that is okay. In the upcoming chapters, after ending of this chapter 10 and 11, again revisit these scenarios, right? Everyone getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So please go through these scenarios for now. If you are not understanding, either you are understanding it or not understanding it, that is okay. Please go through these scenarios 1, scenarios 8, scenarios 3, scenarios 2 and 3, 4 and up to 8, right? And try to understand why this task centric business services above the utility services. Why this tax business services is above the entity business services, and why utility application services is here, right? For now, if you understand why we are arranging like this, you can understand, let's say 10% of this concept, right? For now, please understand, try to understand why this task business services is here, and why this entity business service is here, and why this utility application service is here, right? For now, if you understand this, you will cover 10% of this concept, why we are using this scenario, right? And we are going to again revisit these scenarios in after completing the chapter 10 or 11, right? So don't worry, I'm not skipping these slides. Please go through this slide on your own. If you are understanding it, very good. Similarly, what is this? Why this layer is here, this layer is here, and this layer is here, right? Go to the complete this scenario 8 in the next class, and this is the final end of this chapter. We will going to start chapter 10, chapter 10 in the today 50, 25, 26, 27, right? On 27th we are going to start chapter 10. Wait till chapter 10 and 8. Right, I am going to cover chapter 10, 11, 12, 13 and up to 14 in a single in a single flow, right? It is like a book, not like I'm not going to follow that PPTs, right? I will be following a book, or maybe I come up with my own slides, and using that slide we will be covering chapter 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So it will take up to 2 weeks, and then again please go revisit these scenarios, and either I will explain these scenarios again after completing this chapter 10 and 11, right? Any issue? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
So for now it is complex, very much complex to understand for you for now. So okay. One of the hardest chapter of this book. Russell is now there. Okay. On next Wednesday, I will be in the college taking your lectures from college lab.
When are you going, sir?
On 31st January.
सर आप लोग को मेल आ गया क्या सर आने का?
Sir, after
Yeah.
after will be called, sir.
Yes.